Hello and welcome to Liverpool versus everybody. Back again. We finally made it to Friday, the day before the match. It's finally here. I'm thrilled about that. Just want to talk about a few topics, and then just jump right into the whole City Liverpool match and some thoughts about that. First thing I want to talk about was Jordan Henderson. I really, I can admit I've been down on the guy. I haven't really thought much of him as a Liverpool player, let alone a captain. And I have to, go back on what I've said about that. I do think the last few matches he's definitely been a captain and more. He's definitely been a captain and more. He's slowly but surely making that deep line role, which oftentimes is where Emery Chan plays. He's making that role his own, and he's doing a lovely job at it. Uh, Going far beyond what I thought he would be able to do, and it probably wasn't so fair to judge him so harshly. He did have some awful performances, I thought, and awful moments, and I just didn't know if he was a guy who could galvanize the boys and get them together, and I didn't know if he was the guy that the other 10 players on the field really believed in. Call me crazy, but I just didn't see that. I saw the energy and I saw the passion he had to play for Liverpool. I've always seen that. That's never been questioned. Just wasn't too sure about his leadership, and also I just wasn't sure about the longevity of him being a Liverpool player this season moving on. I think I was totally wrong, and I know that he definitely will have moments again where, I think he stunk up the joint, and that's okay. Um, but I feel like getting behind Henderson, speaking for myself, is the only logical thing to do. And if you really look back at these last few games, I've been watching during this week the Tottenham game again, the Chelsea game, of course, and Leicester. And in those games, and Chelsea's the one that most people will say Henderson kind of made that turn, and that was probably his best match. And for me, it wasn't even about the goal. It was just how he facilitated throughout that game. His passing accuracy percentage was incredible. In the tackle, he was a beast. I mean, he was just relentless out there. And if you look at those games, specifically Chelsea and Tottenham, there's no dapping people up in the tunnel. I mean, this guy has a serious stare on him. He's just focused. He's looking straight ahead, and he can't wait to get on the pitch. There's no friends before and during the game. He's ready to go out there and kill, figuratively, of course. He's ready to go out there and just dominate people. And it's going to start with him. And I believe the more he plays like that, the better Liverpool Football Club are going to be. Seriously. If he's still like that in the middle of the park and protecting that back line and going in for tackles like that, and then offering goals as well, I mean, that's just a beautiful thing. Anyway, it was just so lovely to see him score that goal, because it helped us win, of course, but also just for him and what he means to the club. And so, for the longest time, he's in this shadow of Steven Gerrard, which I hate. I don't even know why we still sing Steven Gerrard songs. No disrespect to Steven Gerrard. People are going to think I'm crazy and blasphemous. I really don't care what you think. My opinion is we should be coming up with songs for the players that are already there. Steven Gerrard does not play for us anymore. Brendan Rodgers does not coach for us anymore. There's still people, posting things about Brendan Rodgers and how much they miss him and, keeping up with what he's doing in Celtic. I could care less. This is a football club that's managed by Jurgen Klopp with players that don't involve Steven Gerrard. It's nice when he shops the team out on a good win. Cool, you should do that. He's from Liverpool. He's a Liverpool lad, and I wouldn't expect anything different as far as that. But it's a new club. It's a new team. Not a new club. It's a new team. Different players, and we need to embrace that in the team that we have, in my opinion. I think Milner also deserves a lot of love. He's gone against the likes of Mahrez. Who else? Mahrez, Hazard, Willian. I mean, all type of guys who have, pace to burn. I mean, he's not even in the same league as some of these guys as far as what they have to offer in the youth alone. So again, another player who just taken that position and just made it his own. No complaining about it. No moaning. Just get out there, do a job. and there was an embrace between him and Henderson and Milner afterwards, the Chelsea game, and and also the embrace, of course, of Klopp and all the players. But you just felt like there's something special about this team. There's really, really something special about this team, and something I haven't seen or felt in a long time. Not even the season a few years ago where we almost won the league. This team really has something special, and Klopp has them working hard as hell in training, and they're producing for him, and they're producing for each other, and I just love to see that. I feel like clean sheets are going to become something that we're familiar with, and it's going to be really, really consistent with this team. We're getting really close there. You think about the last 3 games, and we probably should have had clean sheets. We made some mistakes here and there. You all know about those mistakes in those games. Found the Derby County game. It's a team that I think we probably should keep a clean sheet again, and that's no disrespect to them. We're just a far superior team, and a lot of these games we need to put away teams and clean it up. We probably could have had 4 or 5 goals. I take the 3-0 win. That's fine. But those are the performances that we need to present. Clearly, Hull City is going to be a tougher challenge. They offer a lot more in their squad. I think Snodgrass has been really good for them. Huddleston is a really good player. And then Davies in the back defensively. So I think they got a strong squad, and they're going to offer a lot for us in the matchup. So we got to be ready. Can't be taking these teams lightly. Klopp came out in the pre-match presser, and was saying, teams that we've beaten, Chelsea, Arsenal, the good result against Tottenham, even though we probably should have won that game, and even to a degree, Leicester City. Pundits, supporters of other teams, neutral fans of just the game, former players. A lot of these guys didn't have us winning, and a lot of them had us losing significantly. And so if we're underdogs in those situations and we come out on top or come out getting points or a point from them, Hull City could surely do that to us. Burnley's done it. And in that Burnley game, I don't think it was necessarily a case of them wanting it more. They were a little more clinical in the situations they had. We were a little poor in our defensive situations that they scored on. But they won that game deservingly. There was nothing about that. But I definitely don't think we took them lightly. I don't think this squad of players does that. I think they know what history shows. I think they know how they played in the past against these lesser teams. And I think we just were unfortunate that day with our chances. That's what it came down to. We're clearly getting better with that, but we always can improve. There's still going to be moments. There still has been moments in those games that we played really well that we have been a little shaky with our finishing. And so, a little more composure in those moments, being a little more clean with our decisions, I think will bode well for us moving forward. My starting 11. There's been a lot of talk about Karius coming in. I'm not one of those people. I don't believe he should come in. Did a fine job against Derby. Wasn't really bothered much in the game. He also had a few small little errors there too. So I think he's still rough around the edges. So still wet behind the ears. He's still young. So I think Mignolet's done really well and deserves to play for me for the next few games, if not for most of the season. I think Karius should play him maybe in the cup game. You look at him in training and you monitor it. I think this competition has done a lot for Mignolet. It's allowed him to step up and prove that he can be a keeper, and he can be the number 1 for Liverpool. And I'm comfortable going with him moving forward. I've got to see a terrible, terrible performance from him to warrant something different. He surely needs to be a little more quicker with clearing the balls out. I really don't understand why he's still playing with the ball back there sometimes. But other than that, I think he's done really, really well commanding the area. You think back the Arsenal game, saved that penalty. That could have been ugly for us there early in the game. You think about the goal, or in this last match against Chelsea, Diego Costa had a point-blank shot. On another day, he might finish that. On another day, Mignolet might miss, the save. But he came up. Yeah, he stepped up. He showed up big. And then you think, of course, the Vardy attempt that could have really got them a lot of momentum, and he blocked that stone cold. So he's done really well, and for all the flack he's gotten, he deserves some praise. So I'm just happy about this team right now. The spirit in the team, how everybody embraced each other after that Chelsea game. There was a moment, really nice moment there with Milner and Henderson that I really, really enjoyed. And again, and so there's a lot of good spirit in this team, and it's happy days, and it's just really fun to support this team right now. We're always going to support the team, but we go through so many ups and downs, and right now this feels like a really, really lovely time to be a supporter. So I'm enjoying it. But yeah, Mignolet in the goal. Klein keeps his position on the right side. Matip. Lovren, who I think is I said this on another person's channel, that I think they're slowly but surely becoming one of the best duos at center back in the league. And people will say I'm a prisoner of the moment, and I probably need to pump my brakes. It's too early in the season, but I think they're really, really strong together. And I don't think there's been some talk about Klavan presenting Klopp with a headache for choices, and not for center back for me. I don't think anyone else comes back into to their starting 11 right now until there's injuries to Lovren and Matip. I just don't see it in the Cups game, maybe, but as far as in the league, unless if they're healthy and they're ready to go, I don't think anyone comes in for Lovren nor Matip. They're just too strong right now. They're playing really, really good together, and I think you keep that for the chemistry in the squad. Milner, of course, on that left. Then I've got Gini Wijnaldum, Henderson, Lallana. I think they all deserve their continued playing right there in the midfield. And then up front is where it changes for me. Changes in terms of what we usually do. I know Chelsea's game was different because Firmino wasn't in there, but I've got Mane on the right. I've got Sturridge leading the line. I'm really hoping he's good. I know he's been in training or in and out of training, and he had that little knock he picked up. But I got Sturridge leading the line if he's healthy, and then Firmino running on the left hand where Coutinho would normally play. Coutinho, I think, is just better off the bench right now for us. For this home game, I definitely think Firmino needs to start, but I think he starts on the left. So I'm probably wrong, but we'll see. I'm really interested to see what we go with against a whole side that I know is going to set up strongly defensively. They're going to be compact, and we just got to figure out a way to dissect that. I think we will. So my score prediction is 4-0. Earlier I was saying, I've said some different things. I said 3-1, 3-0. But I think 4-0 is achievable. I think that's something we can definitely get out on them early and cause them a lot of trouble. So I like to see Divock Origi get in there somewhere at the 60th, 70th minute mark. I think he needs a lot more play, a lot more confidence for himself. You think about the players that play, weekly, Firmino, Coutinho, Mane, whoever. They've established a chemistry with each other, and it gets to points where, and I think there's times where we overthink things as well with those players. But you can see Origi in the cup game, where I think he was overthinking certain passes, certain situations where, maybe Firmino and them are kind of just fluid with them. They're not really thinking too much about, should I make this pass, should I not make this pass. It's ball, pass, move, something. It's quick. So I think Origi needs a little bit more of that with the first team, if you will. And however we can fit him in there, I think that would be great for him and just for the club in general. And so I'm just excited, man. This team looks really, really good. And these are points that it is a must win, I think. These are points we need to gain. We're 5 points behind City, I believe. Yeah, they've got 15, we got 10. And so the more points we can get to grab them, they're going to slip up at some point, right? I think Tottenham might be that first game. But in order to keep pace, we got to win games, especially these teams. We got to get points here. The tougher teams in the league are going to be hard enough to get. So we got to pick up these points along the way. And I agree with Aubrey from Redman TV. He brought that up, and the other guys kind of didn't agree with that, which is fine. Opinions are opinions, but I think it's obvious that it's a game that we need to get points from. So hoping we can do that. Hull has had some really great success against us in the past. I believe the last time they were in the league, they picked up points from us. I don't remember how many, but so it'll be a tough match. I'm ready for it, just like I know you are as well. So we'll be back halftime for Hull City. We'll be out at a Liverpool DC supporters bar. Queen Vic, shout out to Queen Vic. We'll be there bright and early, and we'll try to slide in some kind of show halftime there. If not, when we get back to the house, we'll do something. But either way, we'll see you at some point, halftime, full time, to talk about the Hull City Liverpool match. So till then.